realize that launching of programs will not help us. We should be celebrating success. A project should never be launched. A project should actually be opened, once it's completed. And I think it is about time that we really ask ourselves, whether all the money that we immense, running around and celebrating that now we're in government and we're doing all these things, will be able to help us. Or will we go with it when we die? We will not. We need to be able to look at the problem. That people, I don't blame my brothers and sisters in Nyanza. I don't blame them because they strongly believe that finally they'll get services, But I think on a very serious note, we need to change the trajectory. This country is bleeding. The Gen Zs were up in arms. They talked about the seriousness. What we should be thinking about now is not hovering around the entire nation to try and have homecomings. I completely detest them. What we should be doing is sitting down. My brother Mbadi, what he should be doing is sitting down in Treasury and saying, where did the rain start hitting us? How do we fix this mess? Because we have a mess. Teachers, here the teachers are striking. Doctors, we just went through a whole process where doctors were striking. Are we definitely going to continue beating the same drums? No. Enough is enough.
Yet your party is involved in this.
Listen, I was elected by the people of Narok to represent them. I'm very happy to have been elected under the ODM ticket, and I support ODM. And ODM as a party does not have an agreement with KK. It does not have an agreement. I said here before, we have a few of our brothers who were recruited to work with the president. It is in their own prerogative to be able to go and work there, but it's not ODM party. The other thing also, which we have to be very clear on, because people talk about opposition. Parliament must do its work as a oversight of the executive. But when we are, when I had my brother, when I can't wait.
Welcome back to Mora TV. Yet again, the Parliament and Senate of Kenya has been exposed for running around and launching projects instead of finishing project and opening them. He says that the biggest disease in Kenya is opening and launching of projects instead of completing them and celebrating that we are in government. That's the biggest problem. So the MPs were very exposed and don't know how they'll make a comeback to this guy who was in a forum. This is the Narok Senator Oledinma Ledama, who was in a forum, these morning shows or these breakfast shows where they hold and debate, a very heated debate. And this was even supported previously by Mr. Richard Onyonga, who is the Kisii County Senator, who recently has been bashing the government right and left and center, and even exposing the parliament that indeed the Parliament of Kenya is only good for voting and making bad decisions which are affecting Kenyans day in, day out.
And why hasn't Parliament intervened and corrected this before this?
Thank you, Sami. First of all, thanks for giving me an opportunity to be in this wonderful institution. The answer I want to give you is that Parliament is actually part of the problem. The scenario... Sami, the scenario we have in our country, here we are sitting in a sitting with stakeholders, individuals who are experienced, well-educated and exposed. And what are we discussing? A program that is supposed to provide funding to university students, which is already implemented. And
in the month of July, Kenyan MPs were exposed after they forcefully voted yes in an heated financial bill of 2024, which most Kenyans were against. And this caused a lot of division, and even the MPs were attacked on personal levels. Even some of them to now really fear the fact that they might be attacked for making poor laws, for making decisions which are not worth it for Kenyans. We saw that indeed this Kenyan parliament has been exposed in a way that they are making some laws punitive law. The other day we saw the MP from Beira North coming with anti-demonstration finance bill. Really? He's making a bill to counter demonstration, and yet the demonstration is a Kenyan right. The problem is that this guy thinks that he'll be an MP forever. That's one problem. these people, when they get to the parliament of the Senate, they think that they will be always in this Senate forever and they will be passing laws which benefit them. They always think that they will be in the money or the government payroll forever, yet the people who are in the ground, the people who are agitating for better rights and governance are just left there stranded. So this is one of the problem with the Kenyan parliament. They have been passing some laws, even the Ndengu or the Mank bill about Ndengu, which was aimed to be making farmers to obtain a license so that they can plant Ndengu by obtaining a license. Imagine that bill. So what does that really imply? That really shows much for Kenyans, and this is something which means that indeed these laws which they are making are really bad and they are not going to help Kenyans at all. So Kenyans in the recent day have become very vocal and they really don't care what these MPs think. As long as the Kenyans are really standing up for their rights, they're always ready to go. In the other day, we also saw that these people are bringing out the bill of the seeds, where you can't share seeds with your neighbor. So, what are these laws aimed for? Indeed, Parliament is part of the problem.